Listen, fellas, black men, I want a woman who wants to marry me for love. Listen, fellas, black men, I'm sorry to break it to you, but a man's value is primarily based on what he produces and what he can provide a woman and a family. So, no woman is going to like you just for you. And if you want black women to start choosing better, they're going to have to prioritize money when choosing men and resources. There's no way around that. If you want us to be like other race women, how much money you have, that's going to be a priority when we vet men. You're going to have to deal with that. Other race women who get black men with resources, do you think they're just getting with you because they like you? Come on. They're getting with black men with resources primarily for their money, not because they like you. But you know what? Black men don't care about that. They don't call them gold diggers. You know why? Because they feel those women deserve it. They feel those women deserve to be with men with resources. See, they shame you.
Oh wow! So the Kevin Samuel situation has popped off. I knew it was about to blow up when I seen a lot of my different Facebook groups talking about it. I seen Worldstar took it. A lot of people made opinions off not the fuller video. People have done live. Everybody's in the grift right now, getting the hustle off the situation. I don't understand why people don't recognize when you make these people infamous like this, you give them a boost and you actually grow their channel, and they'll probably even get more women watching this content than even before. But people don't understand the game and hustle. But I guess I'll give my take on that. I really didn't care about the situation, but Sarge was in his feelings over some situations that something I said in the video, and several of his commenters were in on his 3 videos he did because he was offended by Kevin Samuel saying that he can get. And I'm trying to remember, did he even say 25? I know the woman said these women don't want 45-year-old men. His response is, I'm 51 and I can't beat him off with a stick. But in that moment, he didn't say an age. So I agree that the age of 25 and 51 is arbitrary. But let's dive in and talk about that because people are acting stupid and obtuse. Like older men and young women ain't a thing. Like that is a thing. That's pretty standard, especially in this country. Women want wealth and resources, and older dudes tend to have that. But let's talk about it.
So, so yes, old men, young women. Okay, it's the truth. When I'm talking, I'm not referring to the 22-year-old or the 25-year-old or the 35-year-old or the 45-year-old. I'm not talking about any of those type of men. I'm talking about the 55, 50 and up. Okay. And I'm only talking about that because only talking about them because that's where you're going to get the real money, okay? Not the play money, not the Splenda money, not the nail and hair money, but the car notes, the rent, the mortgage, um, the jewelry, the vacations, things like that, okay? Not the plane tickets to come see them, but a destination. So why waste time with a young guy when you can't get anything out of them? They don't have anything to give you. And if they do have it, they don't need to give it to you. They don't have to because there's other women that will, entertain them for free, basically. So you don't really need to deal with those. So that's the whole point. When I do this, when I'm talking about older guys, when I'm talking about men with money, I'm talking about older men, not anybody under the age of 45. Okay. So don't get offended if you are under 45. Not talking about y'all at all. Um, I'm just being honest because let's be real. What can a 35-year-old do for me? What can a 25-year-old do for me? What can a guy my own age do for me? Not much, you know? So the reason I'm saying this is because you don't need your equal. You need someone that's going to push you to that next level, to give you what they, um, you know, feel like you deserve. And it's going to be more than a man your own age can give you. Okay. It's going to be more. It's always going to be more because they have more. They've been working longer. They're higher in position. Their career is already taken off and they're flourishing in it. So when I talk about older men, I'm talking about men that are um, stable, financially intelligent, able to make logical decisions, not having to choose whether to buy the latest shoes or pay their bills, not having to check their account every 5 minutes on a date. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about. A lot of people don't realize that when I say 45 and up, 55 and up, whatever, these men don't look all decrepit and old how you think they're looking. I mean, most of the guys that you have on, your um, favorites list are 50 and up. The Rock, okay? Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, George Clooney, Will Smith. These guys are all old. Denzel Washington, Johnny Depp, um, the Crypt Keeper.
So, um, we got receipts, and this is weird because, first and foremost, this stuff don't got nothing to do with me. Don't apply to me. I don't even watch Seven Kingdoms content. As Obsidian pointed out a while ago, his content is not for blue collar brothers. It's for dudes who wear tight ass suits and spin around in chairs and look moist as hell. His content is not for me, so I don't listen to it. So it's not a concern that I share. So this is not me, because one of the comments was like, they don't like y'all, they just use y'all for your money. Duh. This entire hypergamy level up shit is all fake. It's not no substance in it. It's all black people trying to emulate white American shit without any of the resources and tools to do this shit. Right? Right? That's what we're doing. And I'm talking about white Americans, not Europeans, because they got a socialist country and they got the government being their daddy, and there's way less stress on men in regards to protecting and providing, because they can't really protect because they don't have no weapons. And the state pays for health care and education and all those other things. So that's less pressure on the men over there. So they got a different dynamic over there going on. But I'm specifically saying, when I listen to Kevin Samuels and look at all these fake hypergamy chicks, level up chicks, which are all saying the same shit, it's about a lifestyle. There's a few of them that I did watch. I forgot her name. I was going to shout her out. Who, when I listened to her content, she was practical. She wasn't talking about living a lifestyle. She's talking about their future and retirement and chilling. And she doesn't have kids, I don't think, still to this day. And I think she's overseas. Her husband's in the military, I think, or he works for the military, whatever. But she's like one of the few that actually sound practical and not like she was trying to live a lifestyle. But what I don't get is the feelings that Sarge caught when Kevin said that, I can't beat him off with a stick. And I'm like, empirical evidence it may be. And let's even get the disclaimer out. I absolutely know that there are women who do reject the idea of dealing with older dudes. I do see the memes and the jokes of women who attempted to get with the older dude, but he wasn't shit, right? So, and now they're sharing the memes saying, these old niggas ain't got nothing either, right? We're not talking about that context, though. We're talking about men who are established and do have their shit together, right? Women like to throw in the men that we're not talking about in these conversations, but that's not what we're talking about. Yeah, we know there are dudes like the dude who's with Corinne Gaines. How the hell did that old ass dude get hurt? Although she was Coco for Cuckoo Puss, no disrespect to the dead, but he was an old ass dude, and we on YouTube, because we engage in this internalized racism and we call each other stupid, silly names, he would be considered a dusty or broken dusty or whatever, right? But how did he get that young ass girl? And he didn't even have shit. But no, we're not talking about the dudes like that. We're talking about men who actually are established. And let's even dive deeper. Let's make it go all the way down. Let's use some names on YouTube and whatnot. But I'll get to that point later on. But I didn't understand this idea that, Sharji equated it to a woman with kids and all that. But we know that there are women who are okay looking with kids that still pull this high status dudes or whatever. Dudes who got this shit together, educated limbs, blue collar brothers, whatever. They still do that. So I'm like, it's like this stuff isn't all happening all at once and everything is perfect and every T's dotted and every I's crossed and all that other stuff. Life happens. I'm watching black conservative women with kids from out of wedlock talking about uh, when you with a real man, you don't pay no bills. Now, there's a lot of brothers who look like her and gonna say no, but she found her educated lane with dude that's willing to do that. Matter of fact, my man Gianno Conowell, the black Republican on Fox News, I thought he was gonna end up with a Becky. Now, this is the black community and we're different and we date older women, we date different shapes of women and all that stuff. And I'm gonna do a video about the dick policing that I hear from mostly from black men on YouTube about other men who they choose to be with. But this dude got with an older woman who was married to the white strip club owner, Kimberly Klasik, whatever. She lost her Senate seat and tried to go get Elijah Cummings' old seat, I think, in Baltimore. I don't know. Them dudes look alike. One of them dudes. One of them old nigga crats. But she lost. But he with her. Right? Educated lame, got his shit together, black conservative. He got with her old ass. But that's a different context, though. But I'm saying, why are the people in Sarge's comment section? Now, I get why the women like it, because they might be those women who don't want to deal with that. Again, I've heard unsuccessful single shopper lady, whatever her name is, she was on that years ago that she wanted dudes her age and she didn't want an older man. But I'll play it before I even play this. The She Was 7, She Was shit. It's funny, looking through her videos, like, and this is another thing, although I think the lady's crazy and weird, she has improved. At least I can only see it from the neck up, but she was fat as hell. If you look at her videos from like 6 years ago, she's getting better looking. I don't know if she got work done or whatever, if she lightening her skin and whatnot, but she was fat and she's improving herself. But according to Jason Black, women don't get better with age. Like, this stuff does not happen. I think Sarge said that in one of his videos that Crystalline Cray Cray got more attractive as she got older. That's kind of true. It is. But again, we're trying to make these rules and these standards and things, and I just don't get it. Some women can improve with work and money and taking care of yourself, eating right. And there are some men who do the same thing. And there are women who want men who have their ish together and out there still in shape, working out, doing their thing. Right? Like, I'm not understanding the gravity of Sarge's response to what Kevin said when we know that this is a thing. Every day I hear these young dudes talking about they hate it growing up. Like, my cousin just posted this. He's like, he hated growing up in our town because all the dudes his age was dating other women. Dating the women his age. My brother used to say that all the time too. He used to hate that. And then he go on and do the same thing. He dated a girl that was like 3 years younger. Not, that's just 3, but I'm just saying, like, he was mad at dudes for doing what he ended up doing himself because they had no choice. Because all the chicks his age was messing with older dudes. But in context, we're talking about men with the ish together. Tend to be more established. They tend to be able to have been in their career longer. And the She Was 7 chicks said it. And I'm just probably repeating what she already said because I just watched that one video of hers. Specifically talking about this, right? And she says everything there. And the thing is, like, if we're doing the math, right? If Sarge is saying black men shouldn't focus on women and girls and focus on getting their shit together and not date, which is not practical, not humanly possible, and most dudes ain't gonna do that. But let's say you are that dude who foregoes and you're black and you're not even coming from a structure and you're starting over for yourself, meaning you don't have a 2-parent household, even if you do, because the data says that the black men who are in the middle class, most of their children won't even get to inherit their wealth or surpass them, right? So saying you're a black man, you're starting off on your own, you starting from the gutter, from the bottom, you might have to take an extra step here, extra step there. Hell, my cousin, he's a lawyer in New York City. He started off playing football. That didn't work, got hurt at Temple, messed his neck up. Same year that Kevin Everett Jr. got his neck snapped, broke. My cousin did the same thing. That didn't work out. He changed his plans, went somewhere else, went to another school, tried to get in, thinking he was going to be an executive in the NFL and try to be a coach or whatever and all that. That didn't pan out, but then he went to law school. And now he's in New York City doing his thing. But it took paths to get there. He didn't just get it done quick, and like he went to 3 different colleges and had to start all over and whatnot. But I'm saying it takes black people longer to do shit that white people do, right? We go different routes, and that's when I asked the question: if Sarge is telling black dudes don't date single moms, that's one thing that they've been heavy on, right? And the other thing is don't focus on women in your youth. So by the time you do got you together, how old you gonna be? And then this is the other part of us not doing the math. If you're not talking about dating single moms, and most of the women who are in your space, in your area or whatever, in your dating market or dating pool, are the same exact women who probably didn't want you back then anyways, because isn't that what the colorist chick said? She said, yeah, educated names need to get successful sooner so that we don't get our back blown out in our youth by pookies and ray-rays. Didn't she say that? So the premise is it takes men, black men specifically, it takes too long to meet success and require wealth and resources and all the other thing, right? So since it takes too long for y'all to do that, we out here having fun doing our own thing, whatever. And y'all need to hurry up so that we don't get, which is bullshit because they like what they like, so that doesn't even matter. But I asked the question: can the 25-year-old educated lame who's in debt, still in college, working on his stuff, trying to get stuff together, who you already said shouldn't be focused on it anyways, can he compete with the Pookies and the Ray Rays, or that 45-year-old man who's probably retired, about to, he's already investing, he's his kid that he might have had from a previous marriage is grown and gone. Can he compete with him? He can. Again, and this is not I'm not saying this is set in stone. I get there are women who reject the idea of old ass dudes and he waited till he's 50 to get settled down and his nuts don't work no more and all that other stuff. I've seen that happen. Well, we do try to play that route. But there are also women who look for that stability, and I'm not even getting into the daddy issues and all that stuff because everybody want to bring up stuff like that. Like, duh, like that's life. We know that. The same way Dr. Vonnie Balcom pointed out, like how it's like the reverse of the women having daddy issues is like because our culture is so over sexualized and we demonize certain normal behaviors. Like there's a girl that's 26 with all kinds of ass and titties and she's sitting in her daddy lap because they're affectionate, loving each other, doing the right thing. Nothing wrong with that, but because we're such perverts and we over sexualize everything, men aren't doing that with their daughters. And like it ain't often you see the big ass 20-something-year-old daughter jumping her dad's lap, hugging on him, kissing on him. So that what's missing out of that situation, he's looking for it in a younger girl, and vice versa. But outside of all these other conundrums and deflections people want to bring up, older men have always historically liked younger women. There's a whole section on Wikipedia. I'm just looking at this shit like, is people really this dumb? Like, are we not acknowledging this is a thing? Like, and then one of the persons in Sharja's comment section said, like, that's just, it might be y'all tripping in America, but they said that Africa is worse. Like, their age gaps is way worse. Like, they had the highest rate of, they have a name for it too, but the gap between men and women, whatever, in marriage. And again, I'm talking about marriage. I'm not just talking about running around just trying to be that cool, suave old dude just smashing young chicks. That's not the context in which I'm coming from. I'm talking about if I were settling down and building a family. Again, one thing that Sarah said was that, well, that's the reason, which was the extreme, was that's why we're not building or doing nothing is because these dudes want to go around here trying to chase after their women. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense because if these women are level up chicks and hypergamous chicks and they're trying to get the bag chicks, which again is all bullshit, wouldn't they want to be with the dude who's actually in the position to hire other black men instead of the dude who worked for him? Like, again, it's not adding up. We're not doing the math. Don't tell dudes not to date in their youth and all other stuff and focus on getting shit together, which again takes us longer to do. The colorist chicks agree and said, yeah, I take too long to get your shit together. That's why we mess with Pookies and Ray Rays, even though that's not why you mess with them. That's what you're attracted to. That's why you mess with them. And then when you finally do get your stuff together, you think that men are going to run out there and go get back with that same chick that was rejecting him. Let's go. Dr. Boyce Watkins, let's go there. Let me start this over.
Attracting younger men. Like a lot of women usually don't like to talk about their ages because they don't know. I think once a woman gets 30 years old, they start talking about their age.
I'll be 44 next week.
You'll be 44 next week.
I'm very happy about that. The only embarrassment about it, is because I'm not married and I'm not where I want to be.
Now, do you think this society has a big part of it? I
think it was my fault. Because when I was younger, I could have gotten with the good guys, the ones that were going to college and doing what they wanted to do. Mm-hmm. But instead, I got with the bad boys on the street. And And then now it's just kind of too late because all the guys that are my age are taken, all the good ones. And all the guys that are the bad ones, they're just out there acting like they're 20, 30 years old.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's just use Dr. Boyce Watkins for an example, right? I shouldn't be used because I'm trying to get on his live stream to talk about bitch ass Michael Eric Dyson. But Dr. Boyce Watkins, back when he was fat and he ain't had a new teeth, this is looking like, you know, freaking Shrek or Donkey, one of them motherfuckers. Dr. Boyce Watkins, we didn't find this out until after Michi X, the pro black half breed, broke up, and she pointed out that Dr. Boyce got sued by Maria Lloyd. Maria Lloyd was the chick that came at Umar Johnson. Right? Now, I should look it up before I do this video, but I remember because I did a video about it, but I didn't upload it years ago. But she did she has a dating blog called I Date Daily. And in that video, because the chick is smart, I don't agree with her on her liberal stuff as far as like the LGBT stuff. She's always pushing that bullshit. But she's pretty open-minded when it comes to politically, and I do think she is a smart, intelligent woman. But when you disagree with her, she becomes, you know, she does all that, you know, snooty shit that intellectuals do. But she was dating Dr. Boyce Watkins. So, and this is back when he was fat, bald, you know, he's still bald, but you know what I'm saying, how he used to look. Not the new teeth is and the new chick he got him slimmed down, he lost about 50 pounds, whatever. He's a little bit healthier now. This is back then. He was dating Maria Lloyd, who, for all intents and purposes, she's not an unattractive woman. And she's the chick that called out Umar about his school on Dr. Boyce's channel. And again, at the time we didn't know, but he was blowing her back out. She's one of the chicks that sued him for, you know, not giving her the bread that she need for something he helped her with his stuff, right? But he was dating her. She is younger than me, right? So she's closer to Dr. Boyce Watkins' daughter's age than his. He's an educated lame. Now, that relationship did not work out. Back, before I'm going too far, that situation, though, her article that she had wrote that I did a video about years ago, but I never uploaded it, was basically her talking to her educated black female friends, going into the whole black, as Sarge Word say, kicking it to the moon and back and all that, and they're just kicking ass, taking names, and they're super successful and overeducated and all that stuff. The article is basically saying dudes our age are not in that position. Dudes our age are not in that financial in that bracket. So what are we going to do to cope with that? So they're acknowledging that their male peers in their age group are not on their level intellectually and financially. So how do we deal with this? And it was basically, let's get these dudes a bunch of tasks. Let's boost their ego. Let's make them not feel emasculated, that where the bread went, all that type of bullshit. Ironically, she didn't end up going that route because she got with Boyce. So she surpassed dealing with the men that were in her age group and her age bracket and didn't have the intellectualism she felt she had, or even the income that she felt that she should perceive to make or whatever. She got with Boyce. That didn't work out now, but now Boyce is with the woman he's with now, the psychologist and dating coach and all that stuff, who felt the way about Kevin Samuel's situation too. He knew her back then when she was younger, but Boyce did get with the woman who, when her stock was high, she chose some other dude and had 3 kids. I don't know if it's multiple baby daddies or not, but she has 3 kids by some other dude. But again, Boyce Watkins was with a chick that was damn near half his age and somewhat attractive, and he could get that. At the same time, he could also get a woman his age that came with 3 kids from a different marriage or situationship. He chose the latter, right? But that was proving my point that if fat, chunky face Boyce with the teeth all messed up was getting the young chick that was half his age, that was smart, you know, all this other stuff, it didn't work out, but still, he had the opportunity to get that. Didn't stay with it, but now he ended up getting with the chick that, when her stock was high and when she was in her prime, she wasn't feeling him like that, or it didn't work out like that. She chose somebody else. For whatever reason, I knew something was funny because, when people were saying like simp and stuff like that, and not dating single mothers, because I think that's all blown out of proportion too. Like, y'all niggas is dating single mothers. Like, stop lying. Like, just stop. Like, and then if you're staying in the hood and you're not leaving, and you're not moving, you're not going to Brazil, doing all other shit, If you're not trying to hop the fence, 9 times out of 10 you're dealing with them in some way, shape, or another, right? That's just the reality. Like I never got into that whole dialogue. I don't like the idea that women feel away when men say like, "Yo, a childless man deserves to not want to date you" and stuff like that. I agree with that wholeheartedly, right? I agree that men should be able to voice that publicly without any type of scrutiny with, "Oh, you're going to miss out on a great woman," all the other dumb shit that women say to deflect from the fact that, no, he don't want your ass. You got kids. That shit is something else. It's a trade-off dealing with women like that. There are men who, and I did the video a long time ago. I remember, I forgot the dude's name. He was a YouTuber, popular back then, and he used to be strongly against single motherhood. Then he had a kid and he changed his mind. And my response, and even in my video, I was balanced and fair. Like, yo, there's a lot of these team no kids chick out here that had 1,100 abortions and whatnot. You know, her coochie got teardrops tatted next to it because she didn't kill so many babies. That's a risk you take. Or the fact that she probably can't have none. Like, because she was, out there being promiscuous. Let's not act like Gabrielle Union's problems with pregnancy couldn't have been because of the things that she was writing in that book. She was thotting it out. Let's not ignore that correlation. But yeah, I even did that video. So to me, it's never been, on some arrogant or some, you got kids, get away from me. Like, there was a phase I'm like, no. And then older I got, I'm like, oh, shit, damn, they all got kids. Shit, the moment that I said, I'm cool with one kid, the moment I said that, it was hard to find one with one. Like, god damn. Literally, like, the moment I was like, all right, cool, fuck, it is what it is. This is what it is. And again, I'm not advocating for anybody for dudes waiting until they're 50 to go get some 25-year-old chick. That's not the point of what I'm trying to say. I'm saying that does happen, and I totally understand women who reject the idea of the man who is purposely out there playing the field doing this, but we're talking about happenstance. You happen to be single, and you starting all over. Like Dennis, the light-skinned lawyer dude that's starting to do his thing on YouTube and whatnot. Have you seen his chick? He's an established black man with kids from previous relationships and marriage or whatever. And I'm damn sure the chick that he's with is not his damn age. And I've seen her. She look at least 10, 15 years younger than him. That's standard for older, successful men of all races. That doesn't mean that there are women who don't reject that. We're acknowledging that. Hell, in the black community, I think we're all messed up because we will date older, younger, same age, whatever. One thing I did not like either that Sarge said in the video, and a lot of people do this, that's why it's hard to have this conversation about age of consent, things of that nature. I think the environment dictates that. Obviously, different states have different numbers and rules, but we can never have that real conversation because people start being dumb and start using words that don't apply to the situation, like pedophile and R. Kelly and all that stuff. Like, no, that does not apply here. And it's weird because even women who, like, I've been in groups and they've said, did the polls and would you date younger and older? What age would you like with men? Overwhelming majority of the women said men they're aging up, 10 to 15 years. The men said they're aging down, 10 years. And the women who, even the women who admitted they like older men and don't like dudes younger, wouldn't do that. They always like, oh, creepy, nasty, pervert, this, and that. And I'm like, well, you like older men too, but you don't like the fact that these older men like younger. I'm like, are we doing the math here? And I'm going to keep going back to that statement. Are we doing the math? The colorist chick said, educated lames take too long to get this set together. Sarge has been preaching, beating his chest that young dudes should not be focusing on women and focus on their education and getting this shit together. Boom. What's the average age for a black man to do that? Don't even answer that. You know. Right? So then, when you are ready and you are ready to date and marry, most of those women got kids. He's been the biggest advocate against black men dating single mothers. He's been the biggest advocate of single people with no kids getting with each other. Cool. But again, when you get to that situation, if we have an 85% on a wedlock rate, how many women are in that boat? If you're not hopping the fix, you're not going to Brazil, you're staying in your community, you're staying in your environment, what's the chance of that happening? Again, and even dating a chick that's 25 in the hood, she gonna have some kids. But you have a better chance of her not, right? So I'll say all that to say is, like, I just don't understand why we're acting dumb. Like, this is a thing. I don't know why he got triggered by what Samuel said. And I don't know why he's equating it to women who are childless, bringing in, who are child with children thinking they can compete in the market, because we know they are doing that. Every dude does not have that same rejection to women with kids. I wasn't even thinking about that. Like, I know a lot of white dudes that got their shit together and are successful that they be wifing up chicks with kids quick. Like, that's just weird to me. Like, be calling them my family and everything. Like, taking Christmas photos and pajamas matching, and I'm like, y'all only been together for 6 months and you already claiming the kids that ain't yours. I don't get, a lot of white dudes be doing that shit. But again, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're trying to repeat some white people shit, but we're not taking our time to say, okay, that worked, but that didn't work, or that's cool, but that's not cool. Like, that's just the way I see all these conversations online. And again, it's not applied to me, because there were people in the comment sections again on Sarah's video saying things like they don't really like y'all. No shit that this is all superficial and bullshit. The colorist chick did that. I was going to do a video breaking down Meek Mill and 50 Cent. I did do the video, but I didn't upload it because there was clips I wanted to show what I was saying, because I won't say it in this video, but I was going to compare what 50 said and then basically what Meek Mill said in response to Drake's line, "Is that your girl's tour or world's tour?" and how he was like the most millennial young black men who come from a matriarchal situation who just got money, right? These fake hypergamy chicks don't like when Tory Lanez or Meek Mills saying they want women who have money too and resources as well, or they want chicks that got something loose too. So apparently these dudes ain't dumb, right? And that's one of the reasons why these women encourage these women to date older men, because older men have no problem using their resources in exchange for youth and beauty. Younger dudes don't have to do that because there's so many women who would do it for free, as exactly what Shakira said. And Meek Mill doesn't have to splurge or trick, or Tory Lanez for shooting chicks in the foot, allegedly. Like, they don't have to do that. They can actually date women. Like Ludacris, I think his girl is a doctor or whatever. Like, they can date women who have shit of their own. They don't have to trick. And again, I know the cover chick did a video where she basically was being honest, saying like, no, it's about your money. And admitting if y'all didn't have the resources and wealth because y'all short, or Tory Lanez is bald head, now he got hair, just like Kevin Samuels. Like, people are being honest. Again, all of this shit is superficial and fake and no substance. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, over the years I listened to all this content, I'm like, you never hear nobody talking about chemistry and character and companionship and the other things that sustain a marriage. All we talking about is resources and looks. That's it. We're not talking about having the same moral values, the same, religious views and whatnot, all that stuff. Like, we don't even go to that level of deepness when it comes to these conversations online. It's just all bullshit. So I'm not emotionally invested in this conversation, but I did think that it was dumb as shit that people are trying to act like older men and young women are not a thing. And again, in the black community, we all over the place. Black men will date older women. Like I just said, my man Gino got with this Kimberly Clark chick or whatever. He in his late 20s, she in her mid 30s. I'm like, out of all Becky on Fox News with no kids and childless, you chose this woman who got a mixed baby by a strip club owner. Like, huh? Like, we do shit like that as black men, I'm saying. So it's like, it ain't just like even black men are just, oh, you're old and I won't talk to you. If a chick is old and look good, they gon' holler. Would that be something to sustain a family with and something like that? I don't know. I doubt it. My rule was 10 up and 10 down. And I did a 10 up before the 10 down. And the 10 up was like, I didn't take her serious. I wasn't looking for her for anything long term or anything like that. She was on some, and she didn't know I know, but I perceived like she was on some eat, pray, love shit. Divorced her husband who cheated on her allegedly. He was a politician. She was just going through. I'm like, I'll have some fun. But she was childless and older. Of course, there are things that she could teach you and things of that nature, but I wasn't about that life. Basically, the stuff that Kevin Samuels teaching his audience, right? As far as dressing and all that type of stuff. And I'm just like, that's why Meek Mill's a piece of shit, and he's, getting bent over by Rockefeller by wearing that little choker. How did he get a verse with Jay and J. Cole didn't? But people were flirting with the idea of, they were flirting with each other, right? Lisa Ray may be washed and old and all this stuff and hit the wall, as y'all say, but she can still get a high value dude despite how old and washed she is, just off the nostalgia of who she is, right? That's how Russell Wilson got here. But I think that for his image, who's trying to clean it up, I think he should date her. I don't think it's gonna be long term. I don't think it's gonna be married, but I think she can teach us some things. Being that she was married to the Turks and Caicos king and president and all that stuff, I think he can learn from that situation. So I'm not mad at him doing that. I don't think he's gonna be with her long term. I don't see that being the marriage. We see all these young dudes that get with the older women in our community, whether it's Usher choosing all these old chicks and whatnot. Them relationships never work out. Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey, they don't work. But I think there's something that black men can learn from being in those situations that they're not going to learn from women their age or women who are younger than them. But yeah, that's pretty much my video. I ranted. I have more to say and a whole bunch to go into, but I'm talking off the dome. Old dudes, older men who are established are more attracted to younger women, and vice versa. Again, I can't name the amount of times I heard women complaining all through my 20s. It was dudes my age is this, dudes my age is that. We need older men. Again, keep it in the context. I'm not talking about what you refer to in our internalized racism as dusties and older dudes that is just sitting around waiting and or waiting to the last minute till they damn near dead to try and find some young to take care of them. We're not talking about them. I'm not even talking about a dude who's just out there trying to play the field. I'm talking about you just so happen to be in that situation, didn't work out with your first wife or whatever, and you're starting all over, or you're trying to look for a wife, and boom. 9 times out of 10, these men are not going to choose women their age. They're not. Or you do. You have situations like Boyce Walker's situation, who he could have been with a younger chick who was childless and looked better, but he chose the girl that was, or Steve Harvey, same thing. He didn't choose young woman. He chose the chick, basically the colorist chick. Bam Ram threw by 2 drug dealer Pookies and Ray Rays, and that's the girl he wanted. He got her. He didn't go younger. He went with the woman his age with a bunch of kids. So did Boyce. That's a choice for some men to do. But let's not act like a lot of men ain't gonna prefer to opt out of that situation and get with a young childless woman. That's just my take on it. It's not that deep. This ain't the end of the world and the end of patriarchy. And I'm thinking, like, what is more patriarchy than white men divorcing their wives when they get too old and going to get a young woman? That's white patriarchy all day. The fuck is you talking about?
Johnny Depp, the Crypt Keeper. Somebody put that in there. So when y'all think about 50 and up, y'all are thinking like, I don't know what y'all are thinking. Because most men, they don't age like women, okay? Most men do not age like women. The women, Barack Obama, yeah, the women will age faster than the man. So if a man marries a woman his own age, by the time he's 50, she looks 70, okay? She wanted around looking like his mom. And they're looking for, okay? In old, these guys are all old. Denzel Washington, Johnny Depp, the Crypt Keeper. Somebody put that in there. So when y'all think about 50 and up, y'all are thinking like, I don't know what y'all are thinking. Because most men, they don't age like women, okay? Most men do not age like women. The women, Barack Obama, yeah, the women will age faster than the man. So if a man marries a woman his own age, by the time he's 50, she looks 70, okay?